fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Armored Cyber Changers Optimus Prime from the Transformers Cyberworld Energon Surge line from Hasbro. So this is a translucent blue plastic version of the second Optimus Prime we got in the line, the kind of more off-road vehicle Optimus Prime as opposed to the semi-truck that he's usually represented as. So you can see we have some nice translucent plastic here for the torso and the arms, and then it looks like he's got a pretty much darker blue than the original. We'll do a comparison a little bit later on. He does come with some Energon accessories as well, some nice artwork of the robot mode and the vehicle mode here on the front. Have the standard kind of open packaging here. And then flipping it around to the back, you can see that kind of the whole front end of the vehicle mode is the translucent blue plastic, and it shows how you can combine all the accessories. It looks like he has a couple of swords and things, which are kind of neat, and we'll try him out, lighting him up in Bumblebee. We'll go ahead, we'll get him out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. So here is Optimus Prime out of the packaging. I think he looks pretty cool. I do like all the translucent blue plastic. Like I said, definitely a darker blue and a darker red. Honestly, kind of giving me a little bit more Ultra Magnus vibes in terms of the color scheme, more so than Optimus Prime. And also, he doesn't have like the signature faceplate. They decided to do away with that on the second version. So again, kind of reminding me more of Ultra Magnus, but we do have an Ultra Magnus coming. Face is nicely painted. He has some dark blue for the helmet. It's hard to see, but he does have light blue paint for the eyes and silver paint there for the face. You have a little bit of glow-in-the-dark paint here for the headlights here on the chest. And then really nice painted torso here with that kind of dark maroon and silver. And then this darker blue, I think, also looks really good. So yeah, all in all, looks pretty sharp. No movement in the head. Got a ball joint here in the shoulder, so you can move that all around in and out a little bit. Ball joint here in the hip, so you can kind of kick out to the side. Front, can't really go back all that much. And then he does have a 90-degree knee bend, but that is pretty much it for articulation. But it's pretty standard for this line so far. So doing a quick comparison with the regular version that we got earlier, you can see, I would say, significantly less paint because he did have kind of the arms painted and the Autobot symbol and a little bit more here on the chest. But he does have the torso painted here, or I guess the midsection we'll call it, where this guy did not. And he still has the silver there on the side for the smokestack, so that looks pretty good. But like I said, definitely a darker blue and red color palette. This guy's a much lighter color scheme, but I like both of them, honestly. I think it looks pretty cool. Just to show you a little comparison there. And then in terms of the accessories that he comes with, you get this block, and this is how it's attached in the packaging, all put together as one thing. And you can see that there is a big peg there, so if you want, you can have him hold it just as one large cannon if you want, although decidingly nothing on here has a barrel to look like a cannon. It's just two swords sticking out of there. Conversely, you can also put it here on the back. It does have some kind of thrusters. You can kind of see like the thrusters there, so you can put this on the back and pretend it's like a jetpack. But of course, it does come apart, so you can lift these two pieces off. And they almost kind of look like a matrix, which I think is neat. But it does bisect and have two different peg holes there, so it's not like you could really hold it like a matrix. Then you have these two swords, which have some glow-in-the-dark paint on them. And then you just have this big piece here, which still has the thrusters, so I guess we could leave this on his back. I like the swords. I think they're kind of neat. I wish he could hold them normally like swords, but he can't. The peg is there. So if you want, you could put them on the side to give him like some arm blades, or you could have him hold them like this, and they just peg into the fist that way, which is okay. I get the feeling they're trying to pretend they're blasters, but they're clearly swords, so I don't know why they did that. And then they tell you to just take these and just kind of peg them onto the sides of the arms, and then have him hold the swords like that. So you can, if you like. Like I said, these pieces don't do much for me. It's neat that they kind of look like a matrix, but you can't do anything matrix-like with them. Like, it would be cool if there was a way, like maybe the pegs were over here and he could kind of hold them up or something like that, but because of the way it's bisected, you know, it doesn't really work. If they were kind of vertically bisected and the pegs were over here, and then you could kind of like have him hold them and push them together, something like that would be cool. But yeah, unfortunately, just not that exciting the way it works out. So I'm going to take these, and to put them back together all in one thing, you just pop the swords in these little peg holes right here. And then these pieces just peg into these spots back here. And that is all back together. So overall, I think he is a pretty cool robot. I like the color scheme. I like the translucent plastic. The accessories are okay. The jetpacks, you know, gives you a little something to do, and the swords are cool. I just wish you could actually hold them vertically like swords. But let's go ahead. Let's get into the transformation. Transformation for this guy, as you would expect, is pretty simple. We're just going to go ahead and push the two legs together. If you have them bent at the knee, make sure you straighten it out and then just push them together. They'll peg together. Straighten out the arms like so. And then you want to kind of grab a hold of this chest area and start to pull that up. And then that will bring this section up. And then this will kind of come up as the arms go in. And then this will peg into the legs. So you just kind of smush it all together. And there you go. There is Optimus in his off-road truck mode, I guess we'll say. And they kind of did the same thing they did with Bumblebee, where they painted the windows a kind of metallic blue. But because it's on a translucent blue piece of plastic, it's almost virtually impossible to see. I kind of wish for this one that they had opted for black windows. I think that would have popped more. Could have just painted the windows black. I appreciate that they painted them, but you basically can't tell. Still have the smokestacks, still have the glow-in-the-dark headlights there that I talked about, and then you have the dark blue back here. And then if you want, you can take this and peg this into the same place you pegged it in robot mode, just to have this on the top, and I guess give him some thrusters. Maybe you can thrust towards the enemy with some blades extended. I do kind of wish it sat a little bit further. You can kind of see there's like a smaller peg hole right there. I kind of wish that's where the peg hole was, because I just think that looks a little bit better, but that's what we got. So, yeah, but overall, I think that the vehicle mode looks pretty cool. I just wish it had black windows. And then to do a quick comparison with the previous one, let me angle this down. So this is, they look black, but they're kind of a dark blue. I kind of wish they had done the exact same color or just switched them. I mean, the metallic light blue would have looked okay over here, but I think this color over here would have been much better. But maybe they're trying to signify that even the windows are infused with Energon, and that's why it's this metallic, nice metallic light blue. And it's a nice color. It just doesn't show up very well on plastic that's almost the same color. So something like this over here, I think would have worked a little bit better. But just to show off the comparison here, he also has a little red stripe. But yeah, pretty neat. Trying him out in the larger Bumblebee, like I said, we have that white piece of plastic, so I don't think it's going to illuminate too well.
Energon surge!
I mean, the lights coming in from the back and the top do hit the arms pretty decently as he falls out on me.
Hey, where'd you go?
I'm still here, Bumblebee. So it does illuminate the arms pretty well, but I do wish that they could find a way. I know that they must...
Where'd you go?
All right, Bumblebee. I know that they must need that white piece of plastic, to connect to the arms and probably be a little bit more solid for the safety of the joints. But it would be nice if you could really have the light shine through, or maybe just leave like a little hole pocket or something for the chest. But unfortunately, that's what we got. So not much we can do there. I'll try to charge up the headlights with the black light in here.
Energon surge!
Usually that works pretty well. So yeah, you can kind of see that they glow pretty well. So the glow-in-the-dark paint is a nice touch.
Where'd you go?
They really need to have a way to turn that off, because that's terrible that he keeps saying that every time. But yeah, overall, like I said, the lights illuminate the arms pretty well, and the glow-in-the-dark paint usually hits, but that white piece of plastic in there is blocking the light for the chest, unfortunately. So overall, I like this version of Optimus Prime. I really think it comes down to, for me, the darker color scheme. I think it just works really well with the translucent blue. And like I said, almost kind of gives me Ultra Magnus vibes. We do have an Ultra Magnus coming, so we'll see how this one compares to that when we get it in. It's going to be a larger one of the $20 figures. But yeah, I like the darker color scheme. I like the translucent plastic. The accessories are okay, not the worst, not the best. As far as how well he lights up with Bumblebee, it's a problem that a lot of these run into where, if the arms are translucent, that usually works pretty well. The glow-in-the-dark paint usually works really well, but because they always have like a solid opaque piece of plastic in the back, they can't really have the light shine through all that well, which is kind of a bummer. I mean, it's to be expected, I guess, but just kind of a bummer. But yeah, overall, I think he's fun. I found him on Amazon. There's the same $16.99 that all these armored cyber changers are. So definitely check out Amazon if you're looking for this one. Otherwise, they should be showing up in stores soon. Some of the like ultimate cyber changers I've seen at Target, but I haven't really seen many of the smaller ones in stores. So that's kind of interesting. I've been getting almost all mine exclusively on Amazon just because that's where they've been showing up. But yeah, let me know what you think about this guy in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.